I have seen discrimination. I have seen struggle. I
Hmm.
have seen people struggling with their funding, people struggling with their credit score, people losing job and things like that. When I'm able to help those folks, it's a different level of satisfaction altogether.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to the Closing Table. Hi, I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. And joining us on this episode, I'm very, very excited to talk to her and share real estate knowledge within her market. We want to welcome Tania Paul to the Closing Table. How are you, Tania?
I'm doing great, Kevin. How are you doing? And thank you so
I'm doing.
much for inviting me to the show.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking, and thank you for accepting our invitation and taking time out to be here. We always appreciate that, Tanya. So,
Of course, anything about real estate, you can ask me. I can talk all day long.
oh, okay. So we're gonna challenge you on that today. We're gonna get into that in just a second. But before we do that, let's get to know you a little bit, Tanya. So I like to take this time in 60 seconds or less, if you can. Tell us who you are outside of real estate.
Well, Kevin, describing what I do out of real estate within 60 seconds would be challenging, but I'll try my best. I talk a lot. So, I am a very upbeat person, very
Hmm.
high energy. I like to socialize. I like to meet people, help people. And that's one of the things that brought me to real estate. I like to spread positive energy and be surrounded by it.
Mm,
Family-wise, I'm a very blessed mother of two boys and wife of an accomplished scientist. I'm very
nice.
blessed by my family. I was raised with a very supportive family as well. Um, I Real estate is my big passion, but apart from real estate, I have another passion that is art. I
Mm,
grew up in an environment of performing dances and theatrical actings and
I
things like
saw
that.
that.
So
Yes.
I still do that with
Hmm.
even with my crazy schedule as it is, but I still try to stay in touch with those. I At home I do arts and crafts with my kids and myself. That's very therapeutic for me. So that always keeps me, contained and all.
Yep.
I like culture. I respect different cultures. So as any cultural events and things like that, I like to participate. I like to know. So that's being that. So this my outgoing personality, my willing to know and being out there kind of worked very well with this real estate.
Good, good. It sounds like it. Yeah, just from us talking before we even actually got into the episode, you just seem like a very upbeat, outgoing person. So that's why I was like, I'm excited to actually get into it and ask some questions. So good, good. We love to hear about someone who's a professional, a family woman, family man, and still gets things done. So love to
Yeah,
hear
I'm a
that,
very
Tanya.
busybody person. I like to do 10 things at a time. So
Oh, sound like me a little bit. I get it. I get it. I want you to talk about your business now, Tanya. I wanted to hear about your real estate. So I want you to describe your real estate business. If you are able to hit on a few key points, what you would consider your niche or specialty, and or if you have any notable achievements, the floor is yours.
sure. So w- I'm a new firm. Been operating for a year now. We have a few other agents, three other agents.
Okay.
We have different focus point, but for me, my niches would be buying, selling, and investment in residential.
Okay.
So that is where I focus on my work. So what the notable achievements that you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I was EXP Realty before I started my firm. So in EXP 2022, I was recognized as one of the top 25th within the top 25th agent for the sales volume
Nice.
in North Carolina. Yes, so that's one. And then at the same year, I got the EXP Icon Award. That's a nationwide award, and it's
Ooh.
given to the agents for their excellence and of course the sales volume. So that,
Nice.
but I'll tell you this. As much as I was blessed and happy to receive these two recognition, my best recognition and award that I still consider is my customers' feedback and their opinion
Mm.
about me, their recommendation or their testimonial.
Okay.
Currently, if you go to my Facebook page, there's 100 five-star reviews, but trust me, each one of them, when they get put in, I feel like I achieved. That's the biggest award for me, honestly.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Well, congratulations on all your success, first and foremost, Tanya. We love to hear that. And I love that you're so proud of them all, too. So it's beautiful to hear. Sometimes people get so worked up in what they're doing, they don't even have time to reflect on some of the things that they've done, or even be proud of some of the achievements that they actually got accomplished. So well done to you. It definitely
Thank you.
speaks volumes. That's how I found you, with you being so successful within your market. Speaking of your market, you already spoke on it briefly, North Carolina, but let's dig into it a little bit more if you don't mind. Describe your market for us geographically, right? And
Okay,
I
so
want you to get into a few things if you don't mind. Just the notable landmarks, things to do, how the weather is, how you would describe the culture, please.
absolutely. So let's start with the area, like the areas that we our firm support. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, in real estate, like oftentimes it's like a smaller, like a few cities, an agent will service. Um, for us, because we are few agents, and I never cared about how much I have to drive. I
Mm-hmm.
just cared about learning new places. I just love, learning new things, finding new places and things like that. So my area kind of expanded. So currently I support Wake County, and a county means there are like several cities,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So Wake County, Orange County, Durham County, Franklin County, Johnston County, Harnett County, and each of them have several cities. And
Right.
then we are also started working in Greensboro, Burlington, Mabin, and that kind of area. So
Okay.
if I give you a range, that's somewhere about 1.5 hours radius
That's not too
driving.
bad. That's not too bad. Yeah.
And we also have done few transactions in Charlotte, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a totally different area. So about 2.5 hours away from
Okay.
where we are based right now. So we call ourselves the Raleigh-Durham surrounding area. So the Charlotte is another like 2.5 hours away.
Gotcha.
We started doing transactions over there, and I'm looking to expand there too.
Ooh, nice, nice. North Carolina, love it. I've had
Oh,
a few
this is
agents on.
booming.
Yeah. Oh,
This
is
is
it?
booming.
Yeah. Nice.
I cannot stop talking about our area. It has so many things to offer. So first of all, we have great schools,
Mm.
great family lifestyle. If somebody looking to grow a family, this is just the best. This been discovered as the best place in US, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. The yeah, the even though the house prices are rising, we still are much better place than some of the West Coast areas would be,
Yeah.
which we do offer the comparable environment, like in education wise, the weather wise. Weather is perfect over here. We
Yeah.
get distinctively four season. Winter is mild here, so we get
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 days of like snows, which is,
Right.
we celebrate the snow because 1 or 2 days, right?
Right. Right.
um, and then winter is mild. Then we have summer, we have long summer, and our houses are designed to have the outdoor living, so it encourages. So we all the most of
Mm.
the houses will have a screen-in porch or a sunroom or a deck or a
Mm.
patio. So even the houses are like designed that way because we enjoy our outdoor living so much. We have cherry blossom during the spring, and fall color right now is going on. If I could show you out the window, it's
Right. Right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's so many different reasons people are
Mm-hmm.
moving here. Many of my clients are actually from out of state and out of country as well. So
Really? Okay.
yes, I have overseas clients as well, and who have migrated here. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them are investors. They came and visited, and then they fall in love with the place. So there lot here. so many events, and we are very multicultural, by the way. It's a very cosmopolitan area, and that's what I was mentioning. Like, I like seeing other cultures even. So we have a lot of family oriented festivals throughout the year, regardless of which ethnicity you are. So if you're an Indian, you have Diwali and all sorts of Indian events going on. Chinese festival is here.
Nice.
We celebrate the Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's New
Of
Year and
course. Right.
all
Right.
sorts
I
of
get it.
that. But not only those. What I'm trying to say is that whether or not it's an Indian festival or it's a Chinese festival, we all celebrate it together.
Nice. I
So that
love
is
that.
where that unity comes into the. It is a beautiful, place to be. People are very nice, helping. So it is. It truly is. I believe that it is one of the best places to be.
A melting pot of cultures. I love that. We have a little bit of that here in Michigan and where we are, but I imagine it's probably heightened where you are specifically. So love to hear that. I'm glad you painted that picture for us. You gave me a little bit of new insight into North Carolina with the type of housing and things like that that are out there. Now you spoke on this briefly, so let's get into the nitty gritty. I want you to continue to describe your market, but more on the economic side of things. So let's talk about numbers if you have any statistical data. What's the average price points out there? How many days on the market are the property stand on average? How has the list to sale price adjusted since the beginning of the year to now? Talk about some of those things if you don't mind.
Oh, I would love to. So let's talk about. You got me. This is where I'm going to talk a lot.
Yeah, come
So,
on.
so let's talk about the average house price. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
it really varies, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned that I work in a 1.5 hours radius, and I gave you a whole lot of counties. And even within counties, the very interesting part is that what in our local market does is that, say, for example, we have in a Wake County, we have two different cities, right? Let's just say, I'm just randomly picking. Let's just say we're picking Raleigh, and then we're also picking Cary. Now,
Okay.
Raleigh prices and Cary prices, and the distance, I'm just giving you an example. Distance, maybe the driving distance between these two places, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but their
Okay.
prices can be varied in 100,000, somewhere around 50 to
Mm,
$100,000. So this is how very different. I mean, our age in each city is different. Even though they're connected with each other, they're not far apart.
right.
But the price per square footage do vary significantly. So
Mm,
let's talk about the average price of the area. Now, if I just do the entire MLS and give you a data, and which that's how the data works, right? So that will show somewhere around 450, but that would not be true if I'm picking up a city and telling you this. That is it the average price for a query? No. Average price for query is much higher.
ooh.
So is it going to be so that those sort of things really, so that is very interesting part in our market, like how the prices vary even for a 10 minutes driving distance.
Yeah.
So I always advise my client that way. Like, everybody has their certain numbers, they monthly numbers to meet, or certain budget and price point. So with me having this several areas under my territory, so I can give them the comparable data. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
says, oh, Tanya, my budget is 400, and and what happens is that if they're local client, they only been in, so let's just say I live in Morrisville, let's just say they live in Morrisville, right? So they only know Morrisville, maybe one or two here and there, and they would
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I have this price point and I'm looking to buy here, and I know that's not the price point for Morrisville, right?
Right.
So, yes, way higher. But they are not exposed to the other areas. They have not been there.
Right.
They don't know what exists there and what's the price point. Maybe they could drive 20 minutes. Are you able to drive 20 minutes? Okay, yes, you do. Okay, then I give them the data point of, okay, with this price point, this is what you're looking for. Okay, I really hear not only what they say, what they don't say. So that is
Mm.
very key point of advising. Like, when you give me facts, figures, like, but there are underlying things behind it. Why are you saying that? So understanding that is very important to me. I mean, I feel to advise them. So oftentimes, and then I will suggest them a different area. I'll suggest them what would suit their need, not just the specifics they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to place them accordingly, take them, introduce new areas, and again, it's because I service a wide range of areas. So
Right,
that
right,
depends on, when you say average price, that will depend on
right.
which particular cities and similar thing. Sorry, I have a little bit of throat thing going on.
That's good.
So with that average days in the market, let's say again, that is also very specific to the area, and certain areas. I mean, overall, the entire region is appreciating, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what is important is each city, like let's say Wake Forest versus Clayton versus Franklin County, one of the cities. Are they all appreciating at the same level? No.
No, no.
So, is the demand in the every single places at the same? No. So
Mm-mm.
that determines now how many days in the market a house going to be. So let's just say, picking back Kerry. Let's just say a house comes into Kerry. What would be the average days in the market if the house is priced correctly and Kerry is overly demand? It's probably gonna stay a day or two.
I was gonna say
Maybe
about a
not.
weekend. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
see that.
I mean, if it gets, yes, just the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
yes, something like that. Now, if it is not that, if it is, say, Sanford,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is it going to be that? No. Then you're expecting it to last for like 2 weeks or you're something over like so. But if I put the overall data, then you're looking at somewhere in 2 to 3 weeks. But when you specify it,
Right.
then it's different, and
It's
it's
a
also
range, right?
different on the it's also, and that's why I'm giving you the in depth of it, just not saying, oh, it's 2 to 3 weeks, because that's not correct in every single places and every single price point also. Let's just say a price point of 5 to 600,000 and compare with $1 million plus.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be the same days in the market? No. So now, and again, there is another variant, which is new construction versus resale. So
Right.
if it is a resale property, it may stay a little longer. If it is a new construction, it's going faster. Now, if it is a $1 million plus property and a resale, you're expecting it to stay a little longer.
Mm.
So there are different variants.
Right. Right.
Then you are probably expecting it to last for a month or something like that
Okay.
for
That's
that
not too
kind of
bad.
price range. No, it's not too
And
bad, but that is what I'm saying. Our and the currently, and that would only be because of this interest rate being so high. So there
mm-hmm.
are. It's not that that house doesn't have a buyer. The house has a buyer from day one. That has a buyer. The buyer is just taking a little longer to think and make the move. Where last year or year before, they didn't have the opportunity and they
Correct.
didn't think, they just went and did it. And right now, the buyer is still there. From day one, probably is there, but he's just
Mm-hmm.
thinking, taking a
Mm-hmm.
little time to
I love
before.
that perspective. Yeah, I like that perspective. Instead of thinking no, there's no buyers out for this. They're out there. They're just taking some time to think
They're
about
just
it a
taking them
little
time,
bit.
and
Yeah.
and the reason I can say that, because, like I said, I support buying and selling. So as much as I
Right.
understand the seller's perspective, their mentality, I
Mm-hmm.
understand my buyers too, because
Yeah.
I have, I'm servicing both. So that's why I'm telling you, because I know my buyers are ready, willing, and buying,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just needs them a little bit time to put together the numbers, to think, and is it the interest rate
Right.
gonna go down next week or high or things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's that that's there.
It's so many. It's so interesting. A couple other things that you touched on in that. One of the things I see this in so many different markets, not just yours. There'll be just sometimes it's not even a 10 or 20-minute drive. Sometimes it's like a block or two over where you'll go
Yeah,
from
yeah.
luxurious apartments and communities to like lower rundown communities. It's so weird to me, but I guess unless you have something that's in the middle, which would be like, I guess, the average home, the in-between home, it's pretty much always going to be that in a lot of different markets. So I completely understand that when you said it. And I like the fact that you mentioned even when you're talking to your clients in the initial conversation, you're paying attention to the questions that they ask and the questions that they don't ask. I think that's very important because I had this talk with a guest recently. As an average consumer, you don't know what you don't know. So you would only
That's
know
correct.
what the professional would bring up to you. And then you kind of make a decision from there, essentially. So when you're paying attention to some of the things that they may not even say, you can bring that up. And then now they're aware of it. And now they can make a more informed decision.
That's very interesting that you said that. So
Yeah.
you can tell I talk a lot, right? So when I do my buyers or sellers consult, right? So
Uh-huh.
I usually what you do a presentation and you say, do you have any questions? And they say,
Right.
nope, not at the
Nope.
moment. So
Mm-hmm.
I finish my thing, and then before asking that question, I say, so now you may be thinking blank question,
mm,
and then
mm.
and this is the answer, and maybe this will come to your mind
Right,
question,
right.
and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't think of that. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I do the both side conversation,
I,
and then I say, now do you have any questions? If you do,
right.
and then come back to me and things like that. So
I
yes.
love that you do that because I've also inquired about this because it's such a complex transition, and then I want to move forward. But I thought about this because I've asked an agent before, how do you know that your client has actually not only received the information but understand
Hmm.
all of the information? You know, you can ask, just like you said, even in the classroom, you'll ask, anybody have any questions? Especially when you're a crowd, no one says anything.
No.
No one
Yes.
wants to look like they don't know anything. But I like your approach in saying, hey, you may be thinking such and such. And then you kind of put it into perspective form. So another thing that I got to applaud you on, because that's so important in the whole transaction when they just don't know and they don't even know what to ask sometimes. So great work
Exactly.
with
What you
that.
don't know, how are you gonna ask a question you don't even know that question
Correct.
exists?
Yep. No, that's a great point. Something that you mentioned earlier, I want to touch on 100 5-star reviews on Facebook. Now, to the average person, maybe they don't think that's a great deal, a big deal. I want to applaud you for that because that shows proof of success on the world's biggest social media platform. So, congratulations, first and foremost. But now I want to ask you, can you explain what this accomplishment means to you personally and what unique or innovative concepts have you employed that contributed to this success?
Well, when you say 100 5-star reviews, that's 100 awards for me, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
invisible. I can't put it on the shelf, but it is in my heart. Every single time
Yeah.
a customer puts one of my client puts a review for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I get to read it. And honestly, truly, it's so much rewarding to, and that keeps me going. Actually, that's the fuel for my work, and
Right.
that keeps me so much motivated to give my 100% every single time. So because that at the end of the day, and then I make them successful in their dream and in their achievements,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the award that I get at the end. So
Nice.
that 100 review, and the best part of it is that I didn't put it in Google or any other platform, because I it's when it's in Facebook, somebody's putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be fake or things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that I do, I mean, everything is out there. I mean, I don't hide anything. Any transaction I do, everything is open book. I
Yeah.
share with the in the Facebook, like, okay, this many transaction I did, this many. So everything is out there. Uh,
Mm.
there is nothing about sort of like any ads. If you have seen my ads and things like that, they are not like I am going to do XYZ for you. It's like I do this. So if that's something that, and this is what I do, this is what my customers say about me, if that makes you confident to work with me, I am more than happy. I'm blessed that I would be
Yeah.
able to assist you. So those kind of things, like I like to keep things. I'm very transparent person. This is what you see, what you get. There is
Yeah.
no extra layers, no extra packaging, no extra fanciness.
Mm-hmm. I love
So
that. I think that's to add on to it. I hate to cut you off, but to add on to it, I think it's so much more validating too, because these public reviews on, like I said, the biggest social media platform in the world, like it could be something as easy as a potential client going on your page and they're like, I don't know if I should choose this, I don't know if I should go with them, but then they see a name that they're familiar with, one of their Facebook friends giving you a positive review and a 5-star review. That could be just reassuring for them, just as simple as that. You know, and more times than none, Facebook will show you someone who you have a mutual friend with in some of those cases. So I feel like that's even more reassuring for a potential client or a lead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, 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 you're fine. And even
Yeah.
if they don't know, I mean, they can go to the profile and see that's a real valid person, somebody,
Correct. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
in many of the other platforms, I feel also I feel it's risky. Like anybody can come and write anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's just a better visibility and better platform, I feel. But there are many testimonials, like many of there is a drawback too. Many testimonials that I received that couldn't be put on Facebook because they don't have a Facebook profile. So that's
Okay.
also some of
So
the
it could be
challenges.
300. It could be 300. We
So
don't know.
yes. So those we don't know how to. I mean, we're still working on how to incorporate that into there.
Right.
But yes.
Love it. Love it. Okay, Tanya. Okay, so you transitioned from working for a big name brand firm or brokerage, and then you went into starting your own. I know that takes a lot of work, that transition right there. Talk about the hurdles that you overcame to establish your own. And then if you can, this is another aspect I don't think people speak on too much. Discuss the psychological aspect of switching from working for someone else to working for yourself.
So well, the entire my real estate, everything. I'm just so thankful to my clients. I have to start with that. So
Mm-hmm.
funny thing, I've been doing this. I never thought that I would do, something on my own. So I was just doing, doing, doing. So many times my client said, Tanya, why don't you open up your firm? Oh no, it's a big deal. Blah, blah, blah. Tanya, open up. So it's not one person, not two-person.
Right,
Constantly
right.
I keep hearing that. Tanya, open up your phone. And like, oh, you know what? I'm good with what I do, but I'm not good with logistical things. I don't know how to put things in place. And then who's going to do that? And I'm so busy, right?
Yeah.
Running the show, the doing my real estate. And that's because that's my passion. And, I would not be able to step myself back and sit there and set up a business. I'm not that kind.
Mhm.
You have no idea, Kevin. My clients, so in so many aspects, different clients, they helped me. Actually, I owe it to them.
Really?
They
Okay.
did. So motivating me to, go. I mean, there. So one of my client, kept saying that, and then he gave me a deadline saying, Tanya, by 2022 December, I want to see your farm registered. Take it as a challenge. I'm like, okay, I'm taking it
Mm.
as a challenge. And you know what? Just because he threw that challenge out to me, I made it happen.
I
And
love
everything,
that.
everything came in place. So many, there are so many logistical things, IT things,
Mhm.
and all of that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I had client for several different platforms. They all came and helped me unconditionally.
That's
And isn't
beautiful.
that a blessing?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
so you know what, actually, in this area, um I'm known to be the most loved realtor. I truly am. I'm just not saying that. I'm very fortunate because my client relationships are amazing.
Mm.
So
That
that's
proves it right there with them helping you start your own firm for sure.
yes. So see, the thing is, it's just that relationship. So I always say, like, when I do a real estate transaction, when I'm buying or selling a house, I just don't do it as like a business wise.
Mhm.
I do it
Mhm.
every single time as if it would be my personal thing. If I wouldn't, would I take that decision or not? That I advise to my clients, like, this is going to be good for you, this is not going to be good for you. The
Right.
what you should do, regardless of what the outcome may be.
Mhm.
If the outcome is like it's not a good idea for them to buy a house, then I'm not afraid to say so. Not because it's not going to get me a deal or something, because you know what? If you're really passionate about something, if you're truly honestly trying to help somebody, it will come back in a long run, and it does.
Sure thing.
So I don't attain for the short-term goals. And this is why what I get back because of that, being very transparent, being very um, genuine, the way I am. I mean, that, like I said, there
Yeah.
is no extra fanciness.
Yeah.
I'll say how things are, and if and this is why they see that in me, and all my transactions that I did so far for every single clients, and there are hundreds of them, I have a very good relationship with them. So,
And that
and
proves it.
yes, because it's not that there are two ways to do things, Kevin. One is short-term things, you do and you get it over with. Then you're out to hunt again, then you're out to hunt again. Or
Correct.
you can focus on the quality and
Mm-hmm.
service, and then you do once, and that will multiply
Mm-hmm.
because that's how
Mm-hmm.
you create the branding. That's how you create the goodwill. If you There are different ways to do marketing in real estate. They always say, oh, lead gen, lead gen, lead gen, but I didn't focus on lead gen so much. I focused on service more. So to me, when a client comes, there are a lot of real estate agents. There's
Right.
a lot of competition in our area. So
Mm-hmm.
why would somebody want to work with me, not the other person? So you have to prove something different, right? If everybody's doing the same things. And so what are you extra special you're offering? That's that extra mile that you're going, that
Yes.
extra personal care that you're taking. So, and being genuine. In real estate world, that's I'm just I struggle because that's very lax in that real estate world. Didn't get so much good name about the honesty and things like that. There is a thing. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why I'm trying to establish, no, like there are different things, there are different people. So that's what kept me going. So if you give you can do branding and packaging.
Mm-hmm.
When the packet opens and the product is not good, you're not buying. Yes, there is another new person will buy that, but you have
Correct.
to constantly keep going out and selling yourself.
Yep. Yep.
Rather, you could provide the best product, maybe not so much packaging. Somebody tastes your product and somebody experience that's good, they will go out and tell 10 other people.
Yep. And come back themselves.
And they, of course, they come back themselves and they'll tell 10 other people.
Yep. Yep.
Now, that is the most reassuring thing. Like somebody's validating, like, yes, I am telling you this is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I experienced
Absolutely.
it. So
Yeah. Word of
there's
mouth is the
nothing.
strongest referral.
And that is how
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm very blessed with all my clients and keep referring me and giving me business and things
Love
like that.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. So, with that being said, I found something on your profile. So, I think this segues perfectly into this. You say you're all about service. You focus on service. I love that. I saw that you recently had 10 properties under contract in just 1 week. A great accomplishment. Very impressive. But I want to ask this. I got to be real. First off, were you able to close on all of those contracts? And what would you say was the common strategy, or give an example of the type of services you provide to get all of these offers under contract?
Very good question. So, that week, Kevin, I usually work late anyway. I'm a workaholic person. I work, late hours and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
that week, Kevin, I did not sleep. I literally did not go to bed.
Wow. Okay. That's not a good trait. I hope you're not doing that
No,
too
but
often.
you see, I'm actually real estate junkie. It's an adrenaline for me.
I get
So
it. I
when things
respect
are,
it.
yeah, so things happens like that, my body would reject sleep. It's not that
Okay.
my body would be wanting sleep and I'm making it work. It will
Right.
reject. So
I get it.
it's a real estate is like it's an adrenaline thing for me.
Yeah, your
So
passion is keeping you up and
mm,
driving you.
yes. So now, to that 10 contracts, some of them are new constructions and some of them are resale.
Mm-hmm.
So the resale ones, yes, it closed because resale ones had a shorter closing period. The new construction ones are, some of them closed and some of them are pending to close. I have an amazing supporting admin team, so we are keeping on top of it. So far, if you tell me like all the loans going to close, yes, all the houses will close. We had a little bit of trouble with one, but we fixed it. I mean, we rearranged the financing and everything. So yes, we are targeting to close all 10 of them. So
Woo!
yes, but yeah, and the strategies you said. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I I like to, so not like a agent, real estate agent. I'm kind of like a real estate coach. So I
Mm.
train my buyers, prep them like kind of like a, before you go to your exam, you have to
Mm-hmm.
study. So yes, I prep them. So some of this new construction deals were not public. So I'm very much connected with all the builders over here. And
Okay.
sometimes I get, I mean, when there is things to happen before the public information comes, I get those scoops. So these, some of them were my scoops, and many of my contracts are actually scoops. So then before things happen, I got the scoops and I prepped my clients like this is going to happen, this is coming, this is, be prepared, and I gave them all the data and facts and everything. So the research were done and given, handed out to them. I just gave them the dates, like this is the date, be ready. So they were
Right.
all ready. And matter of fact, and then the days those things happened, we were about to steal the deal. And trust me, with one of this new construction that I'm talking about, they literally sold that day. Everything.
Wow.
And
Wow.
before, because I knew this, I was able to, I took my clients and I was able to have my first dibs. I was
Yep.
able to get the one, the lots that I want, like my clients wanted, or I the picked out the best ones for them. So we did it. We got to do our homework before everybody else. Everybody got to know at the last minute, and
Mm-hmm.
we had the preparation and all the homework done. So we went and done.
Nice, nice. Love that. That is work. The fact that you said you didn't sleep at all that week, your head didn't hit the pillow, that is crazy. That is hard work right there. Not everybody's built for that, and not everybody's built to do that on a consistent basis. So I would imagine you're not doing that on a weekly basis, but that was just one of those situations that called for you to go way above and beyond to make sure that you had all your ducks in a row for all of these transactions. That was going on simultaneously, by the way. When I saw that you did that, I said, whoa. We got to highlight that. So, once again, great job. Just goes to show the professionalism and how successful your system is obviously working and the work that you put into it. So, putting service first over everything else, it's obviously working. Great job, by the way, Tanya. Great job, by the way.
Thank
Since
you, Kevin.
since
Thank
we
you.
were talking about social media anyway, me stalking your social media pages, something else I saw. I don't see this too. I don't see this too common on other agents' pages. Not only were you posting listings, properties for sale, you were also posting homes for rent. I don't see that too often. I would imagine why you did it, but why don't you tell us now? What's the benefit for a real estate agent promoting homes for rent?
Hmm. So here is the thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you saw it as a post for rent. You
That's what I
think,
saw. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This was actually, it serves two purposes. I'll tell you. So the properties that I advertise for rent, those are actually my investors' properties. So I buy for
Oh.
the properties that I buy for my investors. I help them rent it out, and then we also have a property management services if they
Mm-hmm.
need it. So I in-house end-to-end transaction. So not only I'm getting them a good investment, I'm also proving them it is a good investment by
Yeah.
renting it out. And the on the other side, it has another purpose. It's like who are future investors looking at so many rental ads, and
Mm-hmm.
every single time that they and multiple, and that is also a knowledge for them, like, oh, so these many houses are going for rent, so means what? I am not promoting rental, actually I am promoting investments.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I kind of figured that at the end of the day. I was like, maybe she's doing this for people she actually sold homes to and doing
That's
like
correct.
a full service real
That's
estate
correct.
thing. You even said you have property management, a property management company. So that's completely full service for the average investor right there. Like I said, I kind of assumed that, but I wanted you to take this time on the platform to actually explain that to our audience.
And
So
also, like, who are many
beautiful.
people who are thinking that should I invest in real estate or how does it go and things like that. When they see a lot of rental properties being advertised, so that's a key for them. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that means I can also buy and rent the properties out. I mean, and my rentals are goes very quickly, so that's a reassuring for them as well.
Nice, nice, beautiful. I got something else on here that you mentioned earlier. I was taking notes on the things you were saying. International clients. You say you had a few international clients. You know, obviously for some from different states, but how are you getting this accomplished? That's not the average transaction
No.
for the average person who's already there. So just talk about some of the hurdles and what it takes to actually get a client from another country to get into a home in the United States.
Yes, so that touches my heart. There are a few examples. I mean, I cannot tell you all of them, we will not
Mm-hmm.
finish, but I'll pick a few and talk about that. Kevin, you're right. So I do a lot of transactions, and yes, most of it is for regular people, average people. But
Mm-hmm.
there are certain people that you need help. There are certain things. There is like I have worked with client. I mean, I have seen discrimination here. I have seen struggle here. I
Mm-hmm.
have seen people struggling with their funding, people struggling with their credit score, people losing job and things like that. And when I'm able to help those folks, it's a different level of satisfaction
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
altogether. So, give you an example. So, it was 2021, and so this is a international client. He came to this country not on a regular basis. He came to this country as a refugee status. So imagine their struggle. So I heard his
Wow.
story, and it's a very very heart touching story. Um, then he tries to make his American dream come true, right? And I'm so fortunate that I was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We struggled a lot. There is no reason. I mean, we saw discrimination just because his ethnicity. You could tell by his name his ethnicity, and
Mm-hmm.
our offers were getting rejected because of his ethnicity. It's just weird. We
Yes.
sign up for equal house opportunities, and as a real estate agent, we cannot discriminate, period. But you would see that you
Not
can't
everybody
call it
practices
out.
that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
not everybody practices that, and no, you cannot call it out because there is no proof. They
Correct.
didn't say that they did it
Correct.
because of that, but
Mm-hmm.
you get the hint. When that
Mm-hmm.
house doesn't have any other offers, why aren't you accepting this offer? What does that mean?
Wow.
When we offered the highest and you settle for a lower offer, what does that mean? What does that mean? So it was, and they were getting sad and frustrated. And finally, I was so glad that I was able to get them a home. And you know what? When I go to that listing agent's office to deliver that deposit check, due diligence check, and what do I see on the wall? She is a diversity director.
I knew it was gonna be something like that. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
And I was
Oh
like,
my goodness.
thank God for you
Nice.
accepting our offers. And what, I mean, you don't have to be a diversity director. You should be. Everybody should
Yeah.
be. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Technically.
And I met her and I told her, this is what I've been experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And you could take it and share it with the team that this is that one example. Another example, and I see the struggle of here, single mothers. Single mothers. Um, I see a lot of struggle with whether they're divorced, whether they are by themselves. raising a family by themselves and wanting to have a home
Mm-hmm.
and that struggle they go through. And as a woman, and if I can't support that, if I can't help that, then there's no reason for me to do this. I'm
I
doing
feel
this
it.
to help people, right?
Yep.
So those struggles, we worked really. So one of the transactions that I mentioned that had a little bit trouble, then we got it fixed, was one of theirs. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
so glad that we are able to work it out. And finally, she's going to have her home and I'm so excited for
Beautiful.
it. I'm excited for all 10 of them, by the way, but
Of course.
I that's a special because of this, that there was a hurdle
Right.
and then we are able to achieve that. Then there was another client of mine, and it's again, it's just the, they said they would prefer a different buyer. I said, why? Wouldn't give me an answer. They
Oh
would
my
just
God.
not. I mean, I'm like, what are you saying to the listing agent? Because their religious belief was different.
Mm.
Um, and you could tell by their name and the surname, and that is why they were not getting home.
Wow.
But I'm glad that today they're they own a home and everything is all good. We were able to, but that was a
Good
struggle
job.
that we went
Yeah.
through. But these things really, makes me a little bit agitated
Yeah.
when things like that happen. But then again,
It's motivating too. I mean, there could be all agents that just feel like the other agents like out there representing people who in a way discriminate, but we need agents like yourself who are on the other side of that fight and actually helping clients who desperately need that help, by the way, to actually achieve the American dream of home ownership. So those stories alone just very, very touching once again, it just shows like your connection to your clients and the rapport that you build. So man, you're doing a great job, obviously. And
thank
before
you.
we get out of here, I do want to I want to have this last question for you. I'm kind of switch it up a little bit. In your market, in today with today's current trends and what's going on with interest rates, if you were a first time home investor right now, what steps would you take, knowing everything that you know and the resources that are available? What approach would you take to owning your first investment property in your market?
You're turning around me to see if I'm gonna say something different than what I advise to my clients.
No, this is
No,
just putting you in that position and just explaining for the audience who may want to know directly from you. I know you
sure.
explained it briefly, but if you can, please.
There is a saying, it's it's called present. There is a reason it says present. So I'll say take the present. There is
Mm,
a reason it says present. And here I'm gonna explain why. We can't we can have the past back. I can't bring you that 2% interest rate anymore, right?
right, right,
COVID
right.
interest rate won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what future entails. If you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking well, I'll speak to my market, what I'm expert at. If you're
Okay.
thinking the price will crash, or you're thinking interest rate will go down, and then that would be a good time for me to step into the market, I would say, do we all know that? Okay,
Mm.
so few things that could happen. If the interest rate drops, it can drop. We are expecting it to drop. We're hoping that it gets corrected. Do you think the house price gonna stay where they are right now?
No.
Right now, remember I told you about that, buyers are able to think, take a little bit of time before they make the decision. Do you think that that opportunity will last? No, it
No.
won't. So we will be back with that, what that craziness was, and
Mm-hmm.
without seeing houses, buying houses, and going all crazy over asking. Because the thing is, we have very limited inventory. Some of
Yes.
the places we don't have inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the cities we don't. Honestly, we don't. Not any listings. Unless some of the new constructions are building, those are the only choices you have, and that's also they're getting sold out. So once they're sold out, then there you have nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
with the diminishing, the challenges with the diminishing inventory, what are your chances that in future you will get something where you want to get it and with the price that you want to get it? Forget about the price.
Mm-hmm.
Even where you want to get it, would you be able to get it? Because land is limited, it's not
Correct.
increasing. But so that is why take the present.
I get it. I get it. That was well said, actually. That was well said. I love how you brought that full circle. I was like, wow, you definitely had the other shoe drop. And I explain this all the time. I love, like, I couldn't have said it better. We can't predict the future. We're not going to go back to those 2-3% interest rates. Everybody's still trying to buy a home. A lot of people who were in a position to buy a home maybe even earlier this year or last year probably dropped out of the market for the time being, waiting for the same thing that everybody else is waiting on, which is for the interest
Exactly.
rates to
So
drop.
they didn't
Pricing
go
isn't going to
nowhere.
drop at all, though. No, please. Yeah, I agree.
They didn't go nowhere. So they
Mm-mm.
are still, some people are holding their breath, like, and then, so when they're holding their breath, and imagine they get a breeze coming through, and what would they do?
That was funny. Well
Yeah.
said, Tanya. Thank you so much again for pulling up a chair to the closing table and sharing all your information specifically in your market. We appreciate that. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
Well, like I said, that we service not only our in-house, like in-town people, we service out-of-town folks, out-of-country folks too.
Mm-hmm,
If anybody needs a service, or even there is no obligation. I love to talk to people anyway, and love sharing information. There is no obligation that somebody reaches out to me, talk to me, means they have to work with me. And I don't hold any information. I give people, and oftentimes people would say like, oh, that's very good information, we didn't know about that. So I
mm-hmm.
love educating people. I love talking about real estate anyway. So if you want to buy or sell property, please give us an opportunity. But even if you don't, you just want to talk about real estate, just want to learn or have a idea of how our market is, or any data that you need, feel free to reach out to us. um, my name is Tania Paul. You can find me on a Facebook. I go by Tania Paul Realtor. My phone number is 919-840-8897.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you again, Tanya. We appreciate you for being here on the closing table. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you gotten to this point in the video, do us both a favor. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, please do the same. Give us a like, 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Tanya, I like to leave our audience with a question before we exit, just to get them thinking. So this is for you, audience. Is there another country that you would like to own property in? And if so, what country is that? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.